it's not going to be cheap to do because you've got like big ornate curved brick walls on the front. You know, you're going to have to do it sympathetic to kind of a really rural environment, which is going to be expensive. But we need to look at the GDV. But you're going to have a really strong area selling price in rural Buckinghamshire. So the first thing I'd want to look at is what is the area selling price. I'd want to be talking to agents that are selling that sort of stuff, not just going on Rightmove or property data, because there's no point looking at comparables of 3 and 4 bedroom houses on an estate, because that's not what this is. This is a rural property, it's period property, it's old school stock. So you want to be talking to people like Jackson and Stopps, Fine and Country, Savills, those kind of like higher level agents that work in the rural market, but have got really good links to London and to Birmingham, and have got people that are moving out of those places. You know, that's like 30 odd minutes into London from there. You know, that's really easily commutable. So you're going to have people with money. The second thing I'd want to look at is how could I split it? So I'd be on like Searchland or Nimbus or Google Earth if people haven't got like those paid tools, which not everybody has. And I'd literally just print off some drawings and go, right, okay, how can we carve up the plot? And then from there say, okay, well, we've got primary residence, we've got this separate pocket of site here. And then the next thing I would do is I would then be talking to one of the planning consultants we work with and saying, look, here's the footage that we've got from site. This is what we'd like to try and do. Realistically, what do you think is the prospect of that? You know, and I'm not saying, can you tell me to 3 decimal places what's the likelihood of getting planning? It's more a case of, is it a 25% chance? Is it a 50-50? Or is this a really, really solid like outcome? And then from there, I'd say, okay, so based on the footprints we've got, what could we physically achieve with the different types of permitted development in terms of what other units could we create? Because that's then going to tell you what you've got as the residence GDV, what are the different GDVs of the different units you could build in there. And then from there, that'll tell you what the maximum whole site is worth in terms of what it's worth in cash. So once you know what you can actually construct, you can look at the various different sizes, and then you can look at the relative build costs of that. And there's loads of ways doing it. I'm a chartered project manager and cost consultant, so it's what I do. For people that don't, there's online tools you can use that are relatively cheap that can give you a reasonably accurate build cost output. Most of those need to come up with a big caveat that there's always a load of stuff they don't include. They are better for new build than they are for conversion, but they will give you an indicative figure. And if you look at those figures and then all of the stuff is excluded, and then talk to a professional, they can give you some figures around things like what it's going to cost for drainage,